the Tom Lantos Commission on Human Rights recently held a hearing regarding Pakistan and the human rights situation there and the civil liberties. What is its significance and impact on U.S. policy and politics in days to come?
So Tom Lantos, the congressman, now deceased, the late congressman, was a very respectable member of Congress. He was the only member of Congress who was actually a Holocaust survivor. His family, Jewish family, were subject to, massive, very brutal treatments when they were back in Europe. So he became a member of Congress. And there's another small, interesting fact. There was a guy in the 80s in California. He was from California, the congressman, and his constituency, in his district, there was a Pakistani guy, Bill Qureshi, who would challenge Tom Lantos every 2 years. Every 2 years, he would stand against him. So Tom Lantos didn't have good before. When he was a member, he didn't have good memories with the Pakistani American community and even with Pakistan, because Pakistani American community would support Bill Qureshi, especially in the district, and always oppose Tom Lantos. Tom Lantos was a very powerful member of Congress. So he was about, of course, human rights and oppressed communities, freedom of speech and everything. But unfortunately, its commission has not done anything in what's happening in Gaza, or even other parts of the world. If you look at the Middle East, have they done anything? I doubt it. But of course, they did have a hearing, the commission hearing, which must be noted that hearing in a commission, even though it's part of U.S. Congress, is not legally binding on U.S. Congress to make laws or anything. It's just an educational commission, which basically educates the members of Congress or advises them if they choose to receive some advice. But whatever happens in U.S. Congress is important. It is significant. It becomes a reference material. Pakistan's detractors will go back when they have to attack Pakistan. They will go back, dig in, and will find this material, anti-Pakistan material about all these violations that were discussed in that hearing. So it's a bad thing.
I want to briefly ask your view, your independent view, that if the subject is, let's say, civil liberties or human rights situation in Pakistan, don't you think for any such commission to have a comprehensive, independent, and inclusive understanding of the U.S. Congress, the commission itself is bipartisan. Shouldn't this be providing an opportunity to only one party to give its perspective on the situation in Pakistan? Don't you think a member of or representative of other political parties, which may have different perspectives, should be given an opportunity to give a more comprehensive and inclusive perspective on what's the reality in Pakistan, rather than enabling only one party to use the forum to push forward its own agenda?
Great question. And I think if you connect the dots, when you see Mr. Zulfi Bukhari, who was here, he's very close to Imran Khan's former ex-wife, Jemima Goldsmith. And then, of course, you look at Tom Lantos and then the commission. And of course, the formulation of the panel where Zulfi Bukhari, and then there was another very rabidly anti-Pakistan Afghan activist. His name was, I think, Amini, even Nasser Amini or something, and then a guy from amnesty, and then another person who is definitely a respected international lawyer when it comes to political prisoners. So yes, it was a very one-sided panel. I don't think there was an effort made to make sure that is kind of bipartisan, and it represents several views on this subject when it comes to Pakistan. But we have to remember one thing: it's not. It was just a hearing. Okay, so maybe on the request of one political party, or maybe they lobbied for it, very heavily, and they got this hearing, which is a good thing, for them. But it was not like I don't think any report is going to come out of it. For example, you're aware of International Commission on Religious Freedom, which is also
Indeed.
A U.S. Official commission. So they do have hearings, but when they write, these commissions write reports. When they write reports, then they include, of course, all the information from on that subject. From different perspectives and point of views. Here,
for example, I mean, you are very familiar with the Congressional Research Service.
Yes.
When they do research, they cite a lot of credible, verifiable documents and perspectives. They have interviewed yours truly on a number of strategic issues as
Yes.
well, on issues related to South Asian security.
Yeah.
But that is perhaps not the case here. So
Yeah,
that again, allows me to reiterate my question: that what is the purpose of such a commission when it is not inclusive? Because if the US expects such hearings to add to the US soft power and international credibility, then it is all the more reason that it should be balanced, inclusive, and comprehensive.
Well, nothing happens in US Congress without lobbying. Nothing happens. No bill moves without having strong lobbies work for it. Nothing becomes a law unless there are some strong lobbies behind it. So of course, it was this incident. This particular incident was very heavily lobbied for. And when you do lobbying, it's not just like you go and talk to people. There is certain leverage that you use on those members of Congress to have them listen to your point of view, or actually agree to do something. And in this case, bipartisan, two co-chairs, I'm sure they were heavily lobbied with different levers of influence, and they were successful. So again, going back to my point, this is something that you have to look at. Yes, of course, it will always be billed as as unilateral, as not inclusive, as being biased against Pakistan. But this material will be used by Pakistan's detractors to malign Pakistan, as point of reference. Because it is something which is official, it is a U.S. Congressional Commission, and whatever happens, it becomes a matter of record. So is it going to be used against Pakistan in papers elsewhere? Yes. Is it going to make a big difference when it comes to U.S.-Pakistan relations? No. Is it going to help in making laws against Pakistan, or maybe use it in putting some sanctions on Pakistan? I heavily doubt, but it is damaging. It is something that should be a matter of concern back home. How do they counter it? I think it was pretty good knowledge that yes, it was going to happen. I'm not sure if Pakistan did reach out to the commission for having more, having some other voices as well? Did they ask these members of Congress, the co-chairs? Then yes, they should also include somebody from the government of Pakistan, maybe, or from, Pakistani American community, which is with a different perspective and point of view. I don't know. But I think that should have been done as well. And they could have listened to that request. Yes, there has to be, if you see, again, going back to your own experience here in this town, you see when there's a hearing, they're always bipartisan. They always come with negative, positive, and they try. All the congressional hearings are very inclusive. So again, if they did not reach out to the commission for including another perspective, a different perspective, a Pakistan's perspective, so that could have been a major failure on Pakistan and the Pakistani government, I would say.